Rebecca with Rebecca Sounds Reveille, and we are excited today to have a very knowledgeable man who happens to be the #1 healthy weight loss expert. And I have so much that I want to ask of him, but without going into anything right away, I have to tell you he is an author of a new book called The Fat Fallacy, and he has over 30 years of helping thousands of men and women and children, for that matter, lose a lot of unhealthy fat. And there's a lot of difference between weight loss being unhealthy and doing it in a healthy fashion so that you maintain a really good lifestyle. And this is what we're going to talk about today, healthy weight loss. He also has a PhD in science, so we're going to get a little bit scientific on the audience today and really go in and ask a lot of questions that maybe people have either been afraid to ask, didn't know who to ask, or maybe the people that they were asking weren't just knowledgeable in that field. And so we're going to uncover a lot today. With us today is Dr. Darren Wayne, and I'm excited to have you on the show. Dr. Wayne, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So you are the #1.
As far as I'm told, yes.
And I absolutely love it. You are the man to talk to. And let's talk for a minute, though, before we go into really anything. What is the difference between healthy and unhealthy weight loss?
Well, there are many indicators, of course, that you can tell when someone loses weight unhealthy. You see their skin sagging.
Okay.
Maybe they can't sleep as well. Maybe their appetite fluctuates. Maybe they still have cravings that rapid weight loss never cured because, of course, they lost weight unhealthfully. So when you see signs like this, you can tell immediately, or I can, that the person lost weight unhealthfully.
Okay.
Now, when you see someone lose weight healthfully, you see the opposite of that. Not only can you lose weight not as fast as, of course, these unhealthy weight loss programs or extremely hard exercise or surgery or diet pills, but you lose weight consistently and persistently. And when you lose weight healthfully like that at a consistent pace, your skin doesn't loosen. In fact, it firms, it tightens. Cellulite goes away. So when you see someone lose weight, even if it's 50 pounds, 100 pounds, I've seen 200 pounds of only unhealthy fat, their health literally improves. Their body literally looks better. It doesn't look worse after you lost so much weight. And your energy is high, your appetite is healthy and steady, and other symptoms that go along with, of course, gaining weight have also improved. So when you see the differences between the two, you can tell right away, or like I said, I can, and of course the thousands I've helped so far, you can tell who lost weight healthfully and who lost weight healthfully.
That's really interesting. And one of the things that you said at the very beginning was sagging skin. So if a person comes to you and they're saying, okay, so I ended up losing weight in a very unhealthy fashion, and now I have this sagging skin, I've gained the weight back, and I really, really want to be in a position where I can tighten and firm. Is it possible?
Yes. Of course, it takes more time because, well, first, let me back up a little bit, give you some background as to why skin sags, besides the obvious of losing weight unhealthfully. When people lose weight rapidly, or even not very rapidly, but consistently, what happens is you end up losing muscle. And as we both know, muscle is heavier than fat, right?
Yeah.
So when you stand on the scale and you look down, you go, oh, yippee, I lost 20, 30 pounds so quickly. Yes. Well, of course you lost weight rapidly because it's easy to lose muscle when you're starving your body, eating unhealthy food. And so you lose the muscle and you stand on the scale and you're like, you're so happy and ecstatic that you lost so much weight. Little do you know, though, that you only lost weight rapidly and so much of it because you lost muscle. And when you do enough of that, what happens is your skin literally droops off the muscle that used to be there.
Okay.
And how does this happen though? Well, when you feed your body food that cannot sustain you while you're losing weight, in other words, it doesn't have enough healthy calories, doesn't have enough healthy fat, healthy protein, healthy nutrition, doesn't have enough of it, well, it's like you're starving yourself. It's like malnutrition. Even though you put something in your stomach and you feel full and you're satisfied and you feel great that you had a big meal, guess what? The food was dead. You malnourished yourself. You do this long enough and you starve your muscles to the point where they decrease in size, obviously, and then the skin hangs off of you. Now, once this happens and you've lost the weight that you want, but you have this dreadfully looking hanging skin, most people, of course, they either cut it off, or when they find me, I tell them how to put back the muscle that they lost, and the skin returns to its elastic shape. Now, how long this takes, of course, depends on how much of this healthy food and how much of a lifestyle change you're willing to do. A little improvement will create a little improvement in your skin. A dramatic improvement in your lifestyle and what you eat will, of course, show dramatically in your skin elasticity. So it really just depends on what you're willing to do.
This is very interesting, and I think this brings a lot of hope to people out there, because people have gone through fad diets and they're experiencing a lot of things, and then they think, well, and now I need to seek surgery or some other drastic measure. And we have the ability to be resilient and get back what we lost. Muscle.
That brings up bringing back, by the way, I'm glad you touched on that, because that rebound that people experience after they lose weight unhealthfully, which, by the way, rebound only occurs when you lose weight unhealthfully. That rebound, people think, oh, look, I'm fat again, and even bigger. That wasn't fat that came back. Well, probably unhealthy fat probably came back too, but it was mostly the muscle that returned. Your body is resilient, Rebecca. You lose muscle unhealthfully. What does your body naturally try to do? Recover by putting it back. But what do people call that? They call that rebound. Oh, look, I'm fat again. It's actually mostly not unhealthy fat that returned. It was a muscle that you starved that came back. That's another perception that people have about rebound that they really just don't understand.
That's very interesting. It is very interesting to think about how resilient we are. But so obtaining that back then means that we've got to start thinking in terms of being healthy now, because we don't want to go through this up and down vicious cycle and then just being emotionally unhappy because we have all of these things that we've placed on ourselves, and it's causing us to have low self-esteem and try and face our peers and their expectations and all of that. So here you have written a book that has just launched, The Fat Fallacy. And does this share all of the information in there? Is there more?
Absolutely, and yes. The Fat Fallacy, you know, I know. I try to write it very simple and very easy to read, because I know, you know, people don't want to sit through another Bible thickness of weight loss tips and suggestions and diets and exercise routines all over again. So I just simply removed all the fluff, all the hype that you hear out there, and I only nailed down to 20 plus pages or so in an ebook online that you can download for free at thefatfallacy.com, only for your listeners right now for a limited time. And inside those 20 plus pages, I describe exactly the cause of obesity, why people even just gain weight in the first place, which most people already know, obviously diet, but really how to make sure the weight that you lose is not only healthy weight loss, but permanent weight loss. So there is no rebound. There are no side effects. You don't have to count calories. In fact, I teach you why you don't have to count anything. Never hard exercises. No more diet pills. No more hanging skin. Everything is done holistically at a cellular level where the cause of weight gain happens. And once you know exactly what to do, which is what I put in the Fat Fallacy, you'll be able to start losing weight by this weekend.
This is fantastic. And so you have taken a scientific approach, and made this very easy. A lot of people have really got on the bandwagon about counting calories or writing down so many things that are in a point system that they can have or that they can't have. And it isn't about that.
Right. What people think they need to do to lose weight, for instance, count calories, create these difficult and arduous exercise routines, and eat healthier. Of course, everyone's opinion about what healthier is varies considerably. But there is one thing that most people who try to lose weight have in common, and that is they count calories, they count fat, and they try to exercise more.
Okay.
Now, it's great that people are motivated to do something, right? But the reason why even millions of people do that, the obesity rate still increases and is now an epidemic, as we know, which clearly shows none of that works. But what people have to understand is how fat cells work. Fat cells are like any other cell in your body. So I'm going to try to not sound too scientific. I'm going to break it down very simply, okay? Fat cells, imagine every single tiny fat cell an extremely powerful sponge. Okay? Everything you eat, drink, swallow, inject, from conception to this second, goes through your cells. And if anything you ate, drank, swallowed, or injected wasn't absolutely 100% assimilated, what does your body do with the rest that is not? In other words, if you eat junk food, or if you eat or drink dairy, processed dairy, or flour products, or pills, anything and everything that your body cannot assimilate, which most of what I just mentioned you cannot, if not all, where does your body put it? Most people think, I go to the bathroom, it's out, and that's it.
Right.
Au contraire, mon frère. It doesn't work like that. Your body assimilates everything you eat, and what it can't assimilate, it kind of absorbs through your cells. And your fat cells are absolutely no different. So, for example, if you eat or drink processed sugar, your body can't metabolize that or assimilate that. So it goes through your kidneys, it goes through your liver, it goes through your pancreas. And eventually, your pancreas cells absorb this toxic sugar or this toxic accumulation and damages your pancreas over time, creating diabetes, which is a whole nother show, by the way. But back to your fat cells. Your fat cells absorb much of this toxic accumulation that your body, if it was truly healthy and strong, would expel everything, but it doesn't. Our bodies aren't perfect, especially the older we get. And the more our immune system weakens, of course, this accumulation increases. So your fat cells need to be actually cleaned out, Rebecca.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of a fat cleanse, and there are some floating around the internet, and those are very unhealthy because most people think of detoxes or cleanses as very short term. The cleanse I'm talking about is a cleanse you do every day for the rest of your life.
Okay.
That keeps the weight off and keeps you lean and slim and beautiful for the rest of your life. This is the kind of fat cleanse I'm talking about, or the kind of healthy weight loss I'm talking about. That's really the cause, Rebecca, of obesity in this country. Not that people have too much fat, it's that their fat cells are actually swollen.
Okay.
Picture swollen fat cells. What does it look like? Well, it looks like overweight people. And the more swollen they become from this toxic accumulation, the fatter they become. So what you're basically doing is cleaning out your fat cells.
Okay.
And the longer you clean your fat cells out, the thinner you become.
This sounds so simplistic.
It is. When I explain it like that, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm thinking, okay, what do I need to do to do a toxin flush from my fat cells? Because that is going to help me to stay in in a healthy lifestyle. And I am thinking about a number of different conditions that will be positively affected by this in doing so. Metabolic disorder, insomnia, anxiety, stress, because when we are at our optimal performance physically in all of these things, kind of, well, they get flushed away too, right?
Everything you just listed there are all symptoms.
Okay.
And yes, obesity being just one of thousands of symptoms that the body experiences when you accumulate too much toxic waste, that's just one improvement. Now, it's a very serious improvement because so many people desire to be thin,
Sure.
but it's actually not as important as you think, because obesity or gaining weight or having cellulite or even elephantitis or anything that creates or disturbs the body image is really a symptom of what's going on inside of your body.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I've met more sick people who are thin than fat people who are thin. So, yeah, so really, someone who wants to lose weight shouldn't start with the symptom, which is what, of course, the medical industry focuses on, is treating a symptom, but treating the cause, right? And I mentioned one very serious cause that most people will overlook their entire lives, and that is constantly cleaning out their fat cells, eating the right kind of food that creates a consistent, permanent cleanse. Now, I know people view cleanse and flush and detox as some quick temporary thing that you shouldn't do permanently because it's unhealthy. And it is when the cleanse is unhealthy.
That makes sense.
But when it's a healthy cleanse, it doesn't really become a cleanse. I mean, you can call it that if you want to, but it becomes a lifestyle that leaves no room for you to ever gain unhealthy fat ever again. And because you're losing weight healthfully, consistently, there's no danger of any interactions with any other treatment someone might be doing. Any exercise you do will have double the positive impact because you started with your lifestyle first. And I see so many obese people starting out with eating a little healthier, counting their calories, sure, certainly never enough to clean out their fat cells. But then they start these hard exercises. You see them pass out. You see them have heart attacks. And what do their fitness trainers say? Oh, you got to work harder. You can do it. Don't give up. Never does anyone ever say to these victims of weight loss, I like to call them,
I love it.
to start eating healthy enough to clean out your fat cells first. Then when you've lost weight just sitting watching TV, which, by the way, you can, and you're strong enough to actually support hard exercise, that's when you start doing it. You don't do that before. If you wanted to start an engine that didn't have gasoline in it, would you pour some water or vinegar in there first and then rev the engine and hope it improves?
Right.
No. You put the fuel in there first, right? You start slowly. You don't slam the pedal down and then if the engine seizes, you go, oh, you didn't work hard enough. No, you don't do that to someone. But that's what's happening out there every day. No one knows how to lose weight out there. No one knows how to lose healthy weight out there. Right. And books don't talk about it. Doctors don't tell you this. Right. They just tell you to take drugs, eat healthier, have a balanced diet, exercise, and when your skin is hanging down to your waist, come in and I'll cut it off for you. Right. That's what people have out there as an option to lose weight, and that's it.
And that just sounds like it's a little bit too dollar oriented to me.
Well, obviously, the goal is different. Again, when you treat symptoms, you have no choice but to see the result of treating symptoms.
Yes. So when we're talking about really cleaning out the toxins from our fat cells, are we looking at modifying carbohydrates? Are we talking about strictly eating vegetables and becoming a vegetarian? Or is there a balance that we need to look at here? And I know it's in your book, but as we're talking about it with the audience who may be asking some questions, and to encourage them, again, it's free to those of you who are viewing, and really get them educated so that there is an understanding how simplistic this can be. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Of course. Like you said, it's in my book at thefatfallacy.com. Basically, it comes down to this. Everything you want to eat, let's say it's bread, let's say it's pasta, let's say it's cookies, cake, chips. Of course, the more pesticide-free it is, the better. The more GMO-free it is, the better. You'll get to your goal faster. Ideally, yes, what you eat every day should be 100% pesticide-free, 100% GMO-free. Oh, in which, by the way, when you see the GMO-free seal on packages, that doesn't mean pesticide-free. It means only GMO-free. So there's still pesticides in there. So when you buy anything in a package, you have to see both the organic seal and the GMO-free seal, or know how to read labels to make sure every ingredient has the word organic in front of it. But that's just packaged foods, right? Breaking it down into what you eat daily, of course, I have a specific diet or a lifestyle, mind you, a meal plan, if you want to call it, in my book, The Fat Fallacy, from thefatfallacy.com. But it's basically this. You start with replacing your breakfast, okay, with the healthiest food you could possibly find, which, by the way, you can't find at any health food store. I know, it's disappointing, huh? Because you think you go to the supermarket or your local health food store, just buy these foods and buy that snack and just eat that, and voila, you start losing unhealthy fat. If people were able to do that, then these health food stores wouldn't be selling pills or vitamins or supplements. It would really take business away from them, Rebecca. Literally nothing on any store shelf, in any health food store, anywhere in this country, sells anything that could ever be powerfully healthy enough to cleanse fat cells. Now, you can get there closer by simply replacing everything you eat with 100% organic. You will get there eventually. It will take years, mind you, for people who want to do it themselves and know how to shop and can eat 100%, or can grow their own food in their yard and only eat that. Of course, after taking soil samples to make sure there isn't a molecule of GMO pesticide residue left over from soils before.
Right.
If you can do all that yourself, yes, you will eventually get there all by yourself. But if you wanted to get there 10 times faster, I know of a couple farmers in this country that are left that actually have 100% certified organic for their soil. Only a few thousand acres left in this country, Rebecca, that people don't know about, that isn't sold in any store anywhere, which is why I said you can't find it in any store. So I called them up a couple years ago and I said, I want to give this food to my family, my friends. And my friends started losing weight, just simply eating it for breakfast. So I provide this food source in my book. But what is it, basically, right? Well, yes, it's plants, of course. But these aren't plants that you've ever eaten before, Rebecca. Plants that I can't even grow myself. But they literally start cleansing you immediately. Every day you eat it for the rest of your life, for everyone, every age, while nursing, while pregnant, athletes, salarymen, senior citizens, and everyone in between. It's for everyone. There are no side effects, no interaction. You can never eat too much. And the more you eat, you can replace it with your lunch, replace it with your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. It's food, everything.
This is awesome. And so I'm thinking, okay, I've got to get the information so I can start obtaining food. Obviously, they ship, and it's going to be fresh, and it's going to be healthy, and it's going to, get me where I want and where I need to be. But here's the thing I was thinking. I'm thinking,
Mhm.
okay, so I wonder how expensive that is. But here is what the, my brain just automatically was saying in return is that
Mhm.
the amount of money that you spend on weight loss, personal trainers, symptoms of diseases, and so on and so forth, in the long
Mhm.
run is costing you way more. And if you're out there looking for a fad diet, you're spending $200, $300, $400 a month anyway, and instead replacing it with things that you need that is going to absolve all of those things, it's very cost effective.
Yes. Well, yes, not only long term, but because I buy enough food from these farmers to feed myself and everyone I know and thousands of other people around the world, you'd be surprised how much a few thousand acres can produce. I probably can't feed millions of people, but I can feed thousands, maybe even close to a million. That'd be nice one day soon. But this food, actually, because I buy so much of it, let me put it to you this way. It costs less to eat for a whole meal than your typical fast food meal.
Okay,
It's
now
cheaper than that, Rebecca.
you're blowing me away because I just had a conversation recently with someone, and we were discussing, going to the grocery store and buying healthy foods and how expensive it is to buy vegetables and fruits, which is what you're wanting.
And eat enough of it to actually make a real difference in your health, too.
Right. That makes sense. And yet you're going to the local drive-through and it's much
Mhm.
cheaper and it's processed and it's, contaminated and so on and so forth. So
Mhm.
it just, this is blowing my mind. I'm very excited to learn more about this, and I'm sure that the audience is. And again, the website is thefatfallacy.com, and easy to read, simplified. I can't believe no one, Dr. Wayne, has wanted to present this to really help other people. And this is my passion, helping other people, and is yours as well. And I love it.
That's why I'm here. But I mean, I didn't create truth. I didn't invent it. It's something that I've seen with my own eyes over the last 30 years, and I've accumulated these truths. I know at least some of these truths the weight loss industry knows about. Why they still keep pushing hard exercise and counting calories could only be because obviously treating symptoms is worth a lot more money than reversing a cause.
Mm-hmm.
But that's with any other industry treating any other disease or symptom out there too.
Right.
But if you've never heard this before from anyone else, could it be because maybe there's a blackout of this kind of truth that the media doesn't want to present? So when someone like me comes along and is able to get a hold of media outlets that aren't afraid to share this truth with others, yes, that's really the only way this kind of truth will get out to the masses.
Absolutely. And Dr. Wayne, that is what the Liberty Beacon is all about. TLB is geared towards bringing out the truth. And so the amazing thing is that people want to stifle things down and not share those things. And if you really think about it, I mean, let's just talk about this in particular about the farmers. Instead of making money on all of these other things, and they could actually make just as much, if not more, in cultivating what you're talking about. So it doesn't make sense to me, but we have no trouble at all getting out the information that needs to be out there. It absolutely has to be disseminated, and we need to be
Yeah.
healthy. We need to be in a position where we can make informed choices, make healthy decisions, and really be the best we can for the purpose that we were put here for. And it's
Right.
hard to do that when things are clouding us.
Well, I've often said to my friends who I don't call them patients, I call them my friends. because no one is a number in my life. I know most of customers, friends. I know most of their first names because I'm chatting with them online. We're emailing back and forth, and I mean, it's like an extended family, and I know them well. And what I always tell, parents, for example, or single mothers, single fathers who are obese and they want to make a lifestyle change, but of course their children won't cooperate because they hate the vegetables, they hate eating healthy, they make fun of dad when he exercises. When you're in a household that I guess doesn't promote a healthy lifestyle, and you really have to be the only one that starts it, what you have to do is lead by example. Don't force them to do anything. Let them watch you change and transform. And then they'll ask you, what are you doing? And really, that's what eating healthy enough to clean out your fat cells can do. And like I said, if this food was sold everywhere, you and I wouldn't have to be here talking because everyone around us would be healthy.
Right.
So thank goodness we're here.
I agree with you. I think that this is just absolutely amazing. I am really excited to get on board and make these changes in this way. I'm just delighted because, like many women, I'm not the only one out there, but we have sort of this expectation that we've been given in society that we have to look a certain way and a certain way to feel about ourselves and so on and so forth. And so we struggle, and everyone does that. This is here, take this pill, count your calories. And I know that there are women out there who have different types of disorders, and the biggest struggle that they hear, even though they have tried all these different dieting, is you're not counting right, or you have to have less calories, or you're really secretly cheating. And they're not. There's, following these stringent guidelines, and it's not working for them, and they're just not flushing out the toxins from their fat cells. And this is absolutely
that's basically how losing unhealthy fat only works. But the psychology of it really is a lot more fun because you get to delve into how people think, and you get to teach them the difference between a healthy calorie, for example, and an unhealthy calorie. Just like there's healthy fat and unhealthy fat, healthy sugar and unhealthy sugar, healthy protein and unhealthy protein, healthy cholesterol, unhealthy cholesterol. Everything has their opposites, right? So when people are out there counting calories, imagine this, Rebecca, taking a food that is contaminated with pesticides and GMOs, right? And then cooked or pasteurized, if it's a liquid, to prolong shelf life. And then after it's been contaminated and stripped of good nutrition, then they cook it and radiate it even more to remove calories from it. And what happens is now you have this dead food that, like I said at the beginning of the show, it fills your stomach, makes you feel satisfied, might even help your psychology think, oh, you're doing right. But you can't lose the weight. Or if you do lose it, of course, you have hanging skin and you have rebound because you lost muscle because you starved yourself. Imagine counting calories for dead food, Rebecca. How futile is that?
It makes sense. And when you put it like that, it just makes zero sense to me. Like,
why count anything if it's unhealthy to begin with?
Yes. This is awesome.
So that's why when you eat healthy food, healthy enough food that's powerfully cleansing, you never have to count anything ever again. You can eat as much as you want. If you were to count calories and let's say you ate 10 pounds of it a day, fine. Who cares? More the better. That's what eating really healthy means. You can't eat too much of it. And that's what people are concerned about. When they count calories, they're always concerned, am I eating too many calories? Because they don't want to get fat. But calories don't create obesity. Dead calories might create obesity. So that really makes you think obesity is a symptom of what? Well, obesity is a symptom really of malnutrition.
This makes such sense. In, I was just sitting there and I'm thinking how all of this just is clicking. I know for me, and it's got to be for the audience as well. And then I'm thinking, there's a lot of people who are probably going, I end up starving myself. I can't get enough. And what you're saying is you can eat, and this is not going to harm you.
Well, people really are what they eat, Rebecca. I know it's a cliche, but I truly believe that everyone has the exact health that they really want. Now, I know I'm putting it in callous terms like that because no one wakes up and go, oh, I want to be unhealthy, or oh, I want to be obese. No one says that, right?
Right.
But actions do speak louder than words, don't they, Rebecca?
They do.
And if you're looking in the mirror at a body that's unhealthy, you could either blame your genes, which most people do. They love blaming their genes and their parents for, passing on, I don't know, the obese gene, whatever that is.
Right.
Which then doesn't make sense, because then if you lose weight, what does that mean? You reprogram your obese gene to be thin? Right. That makes no sense either. No one can reprogram RNA or DNA. Come on.
Right.
So it comes down to simply, do you want to change what you're putting in your body every day? Mm-hmm. Forget about the exercise for later. Change what you put in your mouth now and start with your breakfast and eat that. And even just changing your breakfast with the food I provide, for the source I provide in my book, The Fat Fallacy, from thefatfallacy.com, you see exactly what to eat, where to find it, and then you could go wild if you want. Give it to your parents, give it to your children, give it to your pet, anyone you think that needs to lose weight healthfully. But this is not no diet that you just do for a little while, and once you reach your health goal or your weight loss goal, stop and go back to eating junk again. This is a lifestyle change. And that's why it's food. That's why it can't be a pill. That's why it can't be some temporary detox. It has to be a consistent, long-term, permanent fat cleanse, which really cleanses every cell in your body. We're only talking about the benefits of cleaning out your fat cells. Well, guess what, Rebecca? This cleans out every cell in your body. And I'm not going to get into the list of symptoms that have been reversed, which have been thousands, by the way. That's for a whole nother show.
Okay.
But this is just one symptom improvement that you will see consistently as long as you continue.
This is fantastic. I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I am excited. I know that the audience is going to be excited as well. I encourage all of you who are watching to go to thefatfallacy.com and get your free copy of The Fat Fallacy, and know that it's not that there isn't hope. It's not that you can't achieve something. This is an opportunity for you to make permanent, healthy changes for the better in your life. And as Dr. Wayne was saying, there is a lot of symptoms that have been reversed. Thank you so much, Dr. Wayne.
You're very welcome. And remember, the best doctor is yourself.
I love it. And we want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rebecca Sounds Reveille. We'd like you to share that with all of your Facebook and social media friends and family, coworkers, and anyone else even who is in your groups or who you think could use a healthy, permanent lifestyle change.